Okay, it's that time again. Time to give a bit of context. We're continuing with character development, but there's a bit of a backstory, especially as it pertains to one of the protagonists. But before that, there's one quick caveat. The names and even the story's title are in a state of flux. They are evolving. I guess that's just based upon my mood or how the story unfolds, but essentially they are just placeholders for now. The names may change or they may remain the same. That's yet to be determined. Now, one of the principal characters is Wayne Addison. He is the co-owner of SkySilk, an aircraft ferry and completion facility, which is based out of Abbotsford Airport in British Columbia. Also located at the same airport is an independent subsidiary of SkySilk, Sky Harbor Air Maintenance. Now, for the most part, these two entities keep their business processes separate. There is occasion for overlap because of the convenience of being under one parent company, but for the most part, especially on the books, they keep themselves separate. In essence, when airlines retire older aircraft, what SkySilk does is scout out auctions, storage yards for airframes worth salvaging, just to see if they're viable, and if they are, they usually purchase them at a low cost, refurbish them with modern engines, avionics, and even complete interior makeovers. Each aircraft airframe undergoes rigorous metallurgical testing before being repainted and prepped for potential buyers. Now, some of these potential buyers are spread across a broad business spectrum. Even though SkySilk is a relatively small firm, they have quietly built a premium reputation. Their upgraded aircraft often go to low-cost carriers and some discreet private clients, mostly in the Southeast Asia market, parts of Africa, the Middle East, and some islands in the South Pacific. Now, at this point in Wayne's arc, his story arc that is, he feels he's been shanghaied, strong-armed, whatever the adjective in question for the time is, into working alongside the US Navy intelligence people. Obviously, this is part of the Royal Canadian Air Force, the equipment he's been seconded to fly, as well as Canada's Security Service CSIS. Now, originally this flight departed from CFB Comox, Canadian Forces Base Comox, and its routing was scheduled to go to Pemberton. Now, Pemberton is a small, let's put it this way, tiny regional airport. So why in the world would someone take an Airbus-sized aircraft into this type of facility? I mean, this is, to him anyway, was presented as a training sortie. When had been there before in a previous mission where he was supposed to transport a nurse, or so he was told at the time. Anyway, this time the aircraft is a fictional military Airbus, and it's currently approaching to Pemberton. It's woefully undersized for this aircraft. Anyway, why stage this? Why compromise story realism by forcing a wide-body jet into a tiny regional airfield? Honestly, just to see if it was possible, just curiosity. And having done this, I'm beginning to see ways to incorporate it plausibly into the narrative. Perhaps if it's a covert mission or an operation linked to the illegal arms trafficking, which is the underpin of all of this. An improvised landing tied to intelligence gathering may have lent context to this type of operation. Anyway, it gave me, or is giving me, creative freedom to see how I can, make it work within the parameters or the boundaries of fiction. Anyway, there's much more to come. Deeper world building, evolving, other characters, more aviation-infused storytelling, and just trying to see where and how you can actually broaden a story arc based upon how things look. I mean, it's one thing to sit down and try and write a story. It's another thing to try and visually give yourself cues to augment what it is you're trying to tell, the story you're trying to tell. In this case, sometimes I write and then I will create the video. Other times I will create the video and then get impetus and motivation and incentive to write. Anyway, That's it for this video. More to come.